bipolar schizophrenia, so mental illness, and she was in the thick of it when I was a kid, and she used alcohol to cope with it. So basically, a bipolar schizophrenic alcoholic.
It's Black Hoody, I'm back cooking these goodies. Look at these views from cooking these foods. Yeah.
Today's subscriber sponsored request coming in hot from Kristen Upman, and she's looking for some biscuits and gravy with some chicken piccata. So I'm gonna make some cream biscuits here, a little bit of a biscuit hack, but first things first, a cup of flour. These biscuits are, you know, they're a little bit of a easier way to go about biscuits, but they end up pretty much the same. Teaspoon and a half, I should say, of baking powder to that flour, quarter teaspoon salt, and then basically equal parts heavy cream, whipping cream, to the flour. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it here and work this dough into a shaggy dough, they call it. So basically you want it to be able to flake. A little bit of flour down on the board, and I'm just gonna work this a little bit, couple folds. Pull it out a little bit. Don't gotta be perfect. Okay, cut into 3. 1, 2, 3. A little clarified butter. Brush these babies. And these are going in the oven preheated at 400 for about 12 to 15. Okay, time to whip up some chicken gravy. Got the pan on here, a little medium-high flame on, I should say, but we got the pan coming on too as well. A little bit ago I made some homemade chicken stock. I put them in these frozen cubes, so I'm gonna bust out a bunch of these into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Alright, stock is pretty much melted down. I'm just gonna take a little bit of it and incorporate it into some cornstarch here and make myself a cornstarch slurry with the actual stock. There we go, mini whisk, incorporate. Make sure it all dissolves, your cornstarch, into the stock. Definitely gonna hit it with some salt. And I also want to pepper it. That's a strange gravy, but I think I'm gonna like it. It's like a clarified gravy. Very interesting. Let's take a taste test on this. Oh man, that's good. Okay, pull these biscuits out. They've been in there for, I don't know, maybe 12 minutes or so. There we go, we got the biscuits, and we're gonna just give them a nice little butter coat. Looking nice and crispy, crunchy, fluffy. All the things a biscuit should be. But definitely give them a nice post-oven butter coat. Delicious these will be with that gravy. Can't wait. Can't wait to get to dipping and ripping into that grave. There you go. Nice, beautiful biscuit. Okay, time to bang some breasts. I got 2 nice breasts here, but piccata needs a little bit of a thinner style chicken breast, so chuck them in this bag or plastic wrap or whatever you got. I'm just using this because why not? It's here. Get your hammer of Thor and just give them a little pounding out. Try to make it nice and even in terms of thickness across the breast. There we are, and repeat process for the other one. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this chicken fired up. So I'm gonna put the pan on like a medium flame. Going in with some canola oil, just a nice little coat on the bottom of the pan. Even that out a little bit, and we're gonna let that get nice and hot. Okay, while that oil is getting hot for the chicken, we're gonna dust the chicken in a little bit of flour here. Just get a nice little flour coat on our pounded out breasts. Let's just come on in and do a little press on this side. A little press on that side. Work a little more flour into here, just a nice little thin coat. All right, we got the oil dancing and glistening, doing its thing. I think we're ready here. Come on in with the chicken. All right, we let this go for a couple minutes. All right, we're about 3 minutes in on that side. Do a little flip ski here. Perfect golden brown, just what we're looking for. So go ahead and let that go for another 3 or so minutes. All right, these are looking good. I think they're pretty much fully cooked here. I'm gonna pull them off and let them rest for a little bit until we bring them back to make our pan sauce. To toss them in the pan sauce. There you go, let them rest. All right, piccata pan sauce, flame on, mid-low. Poured off the excess oil. We have those nice brown chicken bits here. We're gonna go ahead and build up the flavors in this pan sauce. Capers. I'm just gonna smash a few, not all of them, but release a little bit of that smashed caper liquid. Next, we got white wine to deglaze. Go ahead and reduce that down by half. Work in those little chicken bits in there. This isn't standard in this sauce, but I want garlic. Looking and smelling delicious. Still simmering, still reducing down. This is gonna taste so good, I can already tell. All right, next up, we're ready for our cold butter. Bring that on in. Make things nice and rich. Look at how beautiful that is coming together, making it nice and rich. Next, we need our lemon. Gotta have our parsley. And we bring this together and reduce down a little bit. Now that that's reducing down, we bring back our chicken. Look at that. A little beautiful basting on that golden chicken. Get that sauce coming together. And I promise you, this is something to behold. What a delicious dish. Take a little taste of this sauce. Unbelievable. So good. All right, let's go ahead and lay this out. First things first. Chicken breasts. And then we drizzle our pan sauce and our capers. The more the merrier on the capers. And that beautiful butter sauce. And that's running, but good thing we got some biscuits to sop everything up with. So we got our biscuits here. I've made myself a last minute decision to go ahead and make these a savory cheddar chive gravy biscuit. So we got our nice chicken gravy. Go ahead and put our cheddar on here. There we go. We got our chives. Just another dash of gravy. And I think that'll be it right there. Cheddar, chicken gravy, chicken biscuits. We got our beautiful piccata, chicken piccata. And I'm ready to eat. Let's get to it. All right, yo, what up? Welcome to today's subscriber sponsored request. Big shout out to Kristen Upman for this one. She was thinking biscuits and gravy, chicken piccata. I don't know if they really go together, but definitely both are delicious and look delicious. Can't wait to get into it. So before we do anything more, we must pour. And today I'm switching up the flavor just a little bit here. Bringing myself a Gold Peak peach natural flavor iced tea. So it's not super sweet. It's got a pretty legitimately hard to open lid apparently, but also just like a very, still tastes like tea with a bit of sweetness and a bit of peachness. And I just thought maybe it would go decently with today's meal. So our first sip, of course. Squishy face. Delicious. Something good when you don't want overly sweet. Okay. Chicken piccata. I used to make this all the time at my job at Eastside Mario's. So for me, very familiar dish, recipe. People ordered it all of the time. It was definitely a hot seller, a number one type seller. Just so hard to go wrong with. All the delicious flavors. Butter, wine. Lemon. I added garlic because I love garlic. Absolutely delicious. Biscuits. My first time making biscuits. Now these are a little different. These are, like I said, they're a heavy cream type biscuit. You usually use like cold butter and chunk it in and all that, but I wanted to try it this way. They're so soft. With that gravy. That really clarified chicken gravy. See how it is with a chicken biscuit bite. Came out really good for my first time. Some of you may know by now, I have a bit of a flour phobia. It's basically my OCD. I just hate that it gets everywhere. I've also been the person my whole life who's like afraid of like talk on the ground. And one that really sets me off is people filing their nails in front of me. So anything powdery and granular that makes my hands feel like really like dry sets me off in a rather uncomfortable way. Man, the piccata, the way the capers and the lemon, that sharp cut, so good. Was obviously very hungry today. So I'm just getting in here. Kristen was asking if I could maybe speak on my first memories as a child in this video. And I feel like I just don't want to bum anybody out. All of my first memories as a kid are in the department of what you would call traumatic. Just the way it was, unfortunately, for me. My dad at work, sisters at school. Me at home with my mom, who unfortunately has suffered from bipolar schizophrenia, so mental illness, and she was in the thick of it when I was a kid, and she used alcohol to cope with it. So basically a bipolar schizophrenic alcoholic. And most of my first memories revolve around that. So being like 3 or 4, waiting for my sisters to get home because she's passed out drunk. Her talking on the phone for hours and hours with people that I had no idea who they were. I remember taking a ride to the liquor store with her. She called this taxi. I remember it so vividly. It pulled up. It was this big boat of a taxi. Dark midnight blue with like the back seat was all just one seat with like leather, dark leather. And I remember she was like trying to get alcohol, but had like limited money. She was like scrounging for change. And I knew what the outcome of her going to the store would be. Like I had experienced it enough times to like go to the store, see her drink these bottles, and then she completely changes. And so I remember on the way to the cab, basically I was like telling her that she could only get like a little bit and only have a little bit. I was like trying to keep her in line as a 4-year-old or 3-year-old or something like that. Probably 4. And then I remember she got all these like little tester bottles. I remember telling her she could only have like 2 or 3. Of course, later they were all gone. And she was faded. So, you know, kind of a bummer of a childhood or of first memories. Do I blame her for anything? No. Do I hold grudges? No. She was sick. And we had to manage her all the way through my whole life. Up until, I don't know, I want to say early 20s. She progressively got better with the right medications and, you know, certain lengths of stays at hospitals and counseling and therapy and all these things. But yeah, it wasn't a pretty ride, and just the reality of my life, though. Was it damaging? Experts might say yes. Do I feel damaged by it? Not really. It's just what was and what happened at the time. And once again, I don't harbor any ill will, any ill feelings. I fully accept that that's what it was, and I'm just glad that she's now consistently pretty much like as normal as she can be. She lives in a whole kind of different reality still to this day. Like, just her the way that she's wired, her perception of the world is skewed. It's not in line with those who are considered like average and normal. She's still got some skewed perceptions of the world and whatnot, but she's not flying off the handle and you know, causing any real stressful problems anymore. So she's still a handful to deal with relative to just interpersonal relationships. You kind of have to cater to her skewed reality, let things slide, and you know what I mean? But yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg of my first memories in childhood as well. Like, there's, from there it gets, my whole story is like so incredibly complicated. It would take hours and podcasts to explain everything, which, once again, why I'm starting the private community Patreon at some point here. Still developing things, but once again, I want to have a safe space for people to come if you're interested. If you want to hear like the real shit, like the real down dirty, honest life stuff, that's why I'm making it. I want to be able to tell my story and tell all of my stories, but I want to do it in a space that is controlled and not super public. Like, I don't want to be putting people close to me on blast just on the public, like YouTube. Put it over in a safe community where people are there for the right reasons to understand and, you know, not be overly judgmental and just, you know, just a little more intimate, right? And uncensored. Because this platform is all about censorship now. So that's in the works. I'm developing, getting things together, getting videos together, compiling ideas for that for the raw, rugged, naked truth of everything. So, anyways, like I said, I didn't want to bum anybody out with that you know, those first memories, but that's the reality of what my life was and is, and well, not anymore is, but was, is, well, is, yeah. It's something that happened and will always have happened to me. But Kristen, I hope you enjoyed that one. I love it. Piccata's amazing. I've already said this. The biscuits came out great. And yeah, till the next one, you know what to do. Eat good, live well, and stay true. And if you, on the other side of the camera, would like a video like this for yourself, links are down in the pinned comment of this video. Get at me, let me know, make it happen. Okay, peace.